Alex Newman, you're over in Greece, the land that invented mathematics in the West, at least. Why is it that career days in public schools no longer have to deal with firemen and police officers and lawyers? Now it's drag queens showing up in American public schools for career day. Tell us a little bit about this story.
Yeah, and before somebody says, oh my goodness, that's got to be fake news, they're making stuff up, it is absolutely true. You can even read it from the so-called mainstream media. They literally brought in a drag queen called Jessica Lahore. I kid you not, that's the name. And apparently children in 4 separate classes were subjected to this. Unbelievable stuff. They literally brought in this drag queen. Apparently, the career of this drag queen is dressing up in women's clothing and running around using innuendo about prostitution. And so now the kids have a real role model to look up to in terms of their future careers. I don't know how many drag queens the economy could support, but I kid you not, right? I don't know whether they brought in any prostitutes, porn stars, axe murderers, bank robbers, anything like that. But they did bring in this drag queen, and they said it's to help represent the diversity of our community.
Yeah, that's amazing. And even more alarming, parents were not notified that mom and dad what mom and dad in Colorado wouldn't have recognized this was inappropriate. But moms and dads were not given the opportunity to even know what was happening. And this is a theme you and I have been talking about for 5 years now. The public schools feel they have absolute carte blanche to expose your kids to anything. Any progressive agenda item. Again, you mentioned why not bring in a crack whore, right? I mean, why by this argument, the only professions that you will not see represented in a public school career day are housewife. Can you imagine that bringing in a transgendered woman, not even a transgender woman, actually, just a transvestite, a man who dresses like women now for career day? You would never bring in a housewife. You would never bring in a stay-at-home mom. That would send the wrong anti-feminist message. But to bring in a man in women's clothing and to have this done without consulting the parents, this is a big, big red flag for moms and dads. And if they're doing this to you with something as overt and obvious as this, what else are they keeping from your kids, from your parents?
Yeah, and that seems to be the philosophy of government schools all across America. Expose these kids to these horrifying things, and then afterwards say, well, we're kind of a little bit sorry, and in the future we'll ask you guys first, and all the rest of it. But it's like that old metaphor with the toothpaste. Once it's out, you can't put it back in the tube. Once the kids have been exposed to this, you can't unexpose them to this. Right now, they've already been told that they can pursue a drag queen career and they can travel around America dressing up as the opposite gender. I mean, it's unbelievable. And, the other one you can be sure, along with housewife, is not going to be present is a Christian pastor, right? Much less one who would want to talk to the kids about marriage or, family or gender or, any of those outdated things. And then, of course, maybe a biologist could come in and teach the kids, well, hey, guys, I know the drag queen said one thing, but in reality, there are only 2 genders, right? That would be absolutely faux pas. That would probably be teaching the kids religion, right? Under the non-existent First Amendment that the schools like to cite. So we're in really big trouble here. And, it's telling, I think, that the school didn't even apologize. They said, yeah, well, we probably should have told parents beforehand, but we're not going to say sorry, right? So that's where we're at today in America.
Yeah, that's right. And not only did they did a half apology, they said basically, we apologize for not notifying you, but we adamantly do not apologize for bringing a drag queen, a transvestite, to talk to your middle school kids. We do not apologize for that because we did it in the name of inclusivity and diversity. And please explain to me, notice how they misbilled this. Career day was the excuse to bring him in. That was the excuse. And then when they were pushed on this, they said, no, we did this to expose your kids to what we consider to be inclusivity and diversity. And so lies, 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 cover your tracks. This is a big deal. There are very few American school kids, when asked, 14-year-olds, 12-year-olds, when they come home from school, you ask them over the dinner table, Johnny, what'd you do today? There are very few 12-year-olds who aren't going to say, oh, mommy, we had a man dressed as a woman come talk to us. This is obvious, right? How many other aspects of sexuality, alternative sexuality, how many other aspects of things that moms and dads would want to keep their kids away from, certainly at the ages of 12 and 13, are being pushed on your kids now without you being told in the schools? If they can go this far, they can push the envelope this far to bring in a drag queen without consulting parents to talk to little kids, what can't they conceal from your families?
Yeah, no, it's true. We're in very serious trouble as a nation when we have gender confused individuals dressing up as women coming in and teaching the kids that they can pursue a career in what is it, drag queenism? I don't even know what you call a career in being a drag queen.
I think it's formally called drag queenery, I think is what.
Oh, okay, drag queen. Thank you.
Coined the word there, yeah.
Unbelievable. I mean, just, imagine 5 years ago telling people that this was going to happen. They would have laughed at you. They would have said, you're a conspiracy theorist. You're being an alarmist. You're just being anti-public schools just to be, a contrarian. But, of course, this is where we are. And because nothing is going to happen to them after this, they're going to go even further next year, right? We'll have Mexican drug cartel lords coming in and teaching the kids about what it's like to be a cartel boss, and you chop up your enemies when they don't pay you your money, right? This is where we're going as a society. And frankly, as I conclude in the Newman report, at this point, parents now know what's happening. You are out of excuses now. If your children are being subjected to this, we still have the freedom to homeschool. We still have the freedom to pull them out and put them in a Christian school. If your children are being subjected to this, and they will be damaged by this, you can be sure. This is on you, mom and dad. This is on you, taxpayer, for allowing this to happen. It's terribly sad, but that, I think, is where we're going as a culture. And unless and until moms and dads start doing what hurts, right? Taking your kids out and costing them federal dollars and state dollars, this kind of insanity is going to continue.
And the undercurrent of this, Alex, as you know, is that the undercurrent of what we're teaching our kids at the youngest ages now is that normal heterosexuality, traditional marriage, is the outlier. That's what's odd. That's what's abnormal. That's what's exclusive. Every other kind of alternative sexuality, every other kind of gender, besides simply the male and the female now, are considered exotic and progressive and socially just. We're not just exposing kids to radical alternatives. We're convincing these kids that if they're traditionally heterosexual or they believe they're little boys who believe they're boys, we're teaching them that there's something wrong with them. And that's the real crime here.
It is. And, parents, if this isn't a wake-up call for you, I mean, I can't imagine. If this isn't crossing the line for you, where is your line, right? Start thinking about it now. Where is my line? Do they have to bring in, a naked porn star? Because they'll do that, right? What is your line?
They're already doing it. They're already doing it on college campuses, Alex, with all these porn fairs, right? They're having sex experts, and they're bringing in sex toy clinics, and they're having anal sex seminars on college campuses for 18-year-old and 19-year-old kids. What's to say that that's what's good for the 19-year-old has got to be good for the 12-year-old if you're sexualizing children now in elementary school?
Yeah, and that's where this is going, inevitably, right? And if you read the statement that the school district spokesman put out, it's filled with grammar mistakes and spelling mistakes. I mean, you'd think we were dealing with, a drag queen school rather than a regular school where they're supposed to teach people how to read and write. But, you get the sense that, they don't see that there's anything wrong with putting a drag queen in front of your children and teaching them that this is an acceptable career to pursue. So, again, mom and dad, think about this. What is going to be your line before you finally say, that's too far?